and reinforcing the professionalism that defines the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary. Thank you for your continued dedication and for the vital role you play in our success. Tonight, we will be discussing best practices, identifying current challenges, and exploring ways to enhance our collective effectiveness in supporting operational missions. This is also an opportunity to ensure that we are all aligned in our approach and expectations moving forward. For those joining us via the live stream, welcome. You will, you will have the opportunity to submit questions through the chat. Please hold your questions until the designated Q&A portion of the meeting. We will do our best to address as many as time permits. I encourage open dialogue, collaboration, and the sharing of ideas. The strength of this organization lies in our collective experience and our commitment to continuous improvement. At this time, it is my honor to introduce some of our distinguished guest speakers for this evening who have graciously taken time from their demanding schedules to join us, I hope. Hopefully on the call with us today, we should have Commodore Mary Kirkwood, our National Commodore, Commodore Patrick Feary, our Vice National Commodore, Commodore Richard Mihilchik, our Assistant National Commodore for the Administrative Services Group, Terry Barth, our Deputy Assistant National Commodore for the Administrative Services Group, and our one and only Doug Wilworth, our Deputy Director. Let's just see. I don't think I see NACO or VNACO on yet. Doesn't mean they may not show up. Christy, if they do show up, I may interrupt you and give them an opportunity to speak. For now,
yes, sir.
Thank you. For now, I do see Terry Barth, our Deputy Assistant National Commodore. Terry, if you would like to say a few words.
Certainly, absolutely. Well, thank you all for being here. For those of you that are on the live stream in particular, for anyone who doesn't know me, please understand I've been in your shoes, whether you've been the FSO, SO, or DSO, Secretary of Records. I've held all those positions, and I'm still currently the FSO SR. So I can relate to any of your issues, any of your difficulties, and please know that I thank you so much for your hard work and your attention to detail. It's a more silent position in some ways in the auxiliary. You're not necessarily out in the field. However, it is without a doubt one of the most essential. This is not just an administrative position, it is foundational. I just want to remind everyone your work is essential to this organization, and in our meetings, every decision that's made, every action that's taken, your accuracy and submission of meeting minutes and everything is important. Even for every transition of leadership, this has to be documented. So your accuracy and clarity of the records you not only create but maintain is so important. And I just want to thank everyone for maintaining the standards and aligning with the policies, complying with the requirements. It's important, not only for current but future informational needs. So you don't always get the outward recognition that you deserve, but please always know that what you do is important. And though you don't get the recognition, please know what you do does not go unnoticed. People rely on everything that you document and send forward. So once again, it's a pleasure for me to be here, and I'm happy that all of you could join us. So keep up the great work. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Terry. For those of you that don't know, Terry is one of the plank owners of this directorate. She is the original director of this directorate, and much of what you see was all in her head. And I was very thankful to be her deputy at the time. So moving forward, I hope to carry on the tradition. So thank you again, Terry. Doug Wilworth is up next. He is our deputy director. Doug, did you have a few words you wanted to say?
Sure.
Sure. All right. So one of the things, if you've heard me talk before, I talk about communication, and that is so important. It's vitally important in this role. I'm not only deputy director, I'm also a DSO in our district. So one of the things that we all need to improve upon is communication, and that's an exchange of information by means of sending or receiving. It's extremely important in your job as a secretary of records. While receiving information during a meeting, you are the one documenting key discussions, just like Terry and Miguel just talked about, decisions, actions taken, etc. So this, of course, is eventually archived in the 7,000 form and retained for 10 years in a repository, making your job extremely important in the auxiliary. So if you haven't heard it before, your job is extremely important. Your interpretation and accuracy of the communication and information received is critical when it comes to documentation of minutes, making it a legal record. One of my other favorite topics I like to talk about are goals. It doesn't matter if it's business, personal, or the auxiliary. Setting goals provides direction, motivation, and a way to achieve desired success. A goal needs to be specific, measurable, achievable, and something that creates a path forward. If we don't have any goals, we will never move or advance in any direction. There are approximately 800 Secretary of Records officers in the auxiliary, and one of our goals for the national staff is to be in touch with everybody through good communication. This meeting is just one example that incorporates an opportunity for everyone across the country. Christy runs one heck of a quarterly meeting for the DSOs with some great interaction and discussion, so another good communication tool. And we always hope that information is passed down the chain of appointed staff. Your upline staff member should be considered the resident expert for questions and education and is a direct resource for concerns using the appointed chain of leadership management. Flotilla staff officers need to communicate to the division staff officers, and the division staff officers need to communicate to the district staff officers. And of course, the DSOs communicate to the national staff. And by means of sending and receiving, this information flows in both directions. So by now, you've heard me talk about the word communication multiple times over the last couple of minutes. Folks, that is going to be your biggest and best tool in your toolbox of success. How many times have you heard they haven't answered my email? So, do you throw your hands in the air and give up? Absolutely not. Go into the Aux directory, get their phone number, give them a call. I've done it. Trust me, it works. Phones have been around a lot longer than email and is a proven communication tool. You can also consider copying their leadership in your email communication when there's a non-response. That seems to work as well. Your role is so very important to set an example and transfer information to the rest of your members. And please don't break the chain of communication and be sure to share your knowledge. Remember, knowledge is power. Again, as a reminder, your job is extremely important to the life of your unit. So I would like to challenge each of you individually. Set one goal, make it realistic and attainable. And at the very least, it should be measured quarterly. Keep working at achieving your goal with forward movement. Think outside of the box and don't be afraid to try something new. You might find that it actually works. Communicate, communicate, communicate. DSOs, as a suggestion, get your SOs together on a Zoom call. And SOs, get your FSOs together on a Zoom call as well. A little team bonding is a good motivating thing. Thank you for attending this all hands meeting and best wishes to everyone here tonight. Let's make a measurable difference in everything you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doug, for those words of wisdom. I am very fortunate to have a staff that leads by example. So a lot of them are either ADSOs or DSOs in their districts and know what needs to get done. So they have the experience. Now, I'm going to be turning this over to our infamous Master of Ceremonies, the branch chief of the Secretary of Records, Miss Christy Kennard. Christy, I now entrust this meeting over to you.
Oh, good. If that's dangerous. Okay. Okay, you're definitely going to hear a common theme throughout this. I feel like all the things that I was going to present has been presented, but we'll just kind of solidify it. Anyway, thank you, Joe, Miguel, and distinguished guests. Welcome everyone to the annual All Hands Secretary of Records meeting. The slides do have page numbers in the upper right-hand corner. So if you have any questions, you can reference them when we take questions later in this meeting. So readiness, you've already heard a couple of folks speak to this, so I will too. Taking minutes in the Coast Guard Auxiliary directly contributes to the readiness by ensuring clear communication, establishing accountability for operational tasks, and preserving a record of decisions that impact mission execution. So accurate and well-documented minutes serve as a critical component of administrative and operational readiness. So specifically, taking minutes enhances auxiliary readiness through the following ways. Tracking goals. Minutes record progress on national goals such as recreational boating safety, ensuring districts, divisions, and flotillas are on track to meet their annual goals. Ensuring accountability. By documenting motions, assignments, and responsible parties, minutes ensure that follow-up actions like training, equipment checks are carried out, directly impact unit readiness. Preserving knowledge. Meeting records ensure that best practices, lessons learned from operations, and standardized procedures are passed down, preventing that loss of knowledge when leadership changes. Formalizing communication. Minutes provide a standardized method for communicating decisions made by district, division, staff, and flotilla members, with each level keeping all members at every level informed and prepared for upcoming operations. Supporting strategic planning. Accurate documentation of meetings allows leadership to make a data-driven decisions and identify areas of concern, enabling course corrections, if you will, in operational readiness. Protecting information. The standardization of meeting documentation aligns with the broader goal of implementing rigorous document management to safeguard our critical organizational data. So the W-Directorate's focus is the document and administrative side of the auxiliary. The Coast Guard's auxiliary goal is to store all auxiliary legal documents in one central location, and meeting minutes are legal documents. There are so many benefits to standardizing and centralizing and streamlining the meeting minute process. So thank you, Terry Barth, for this creation. In summary, taking minutes is not merely administrative, as was mentioned earlier. It is a systematic approach to organizational efficiency that allows the auxiliary to remain ready and relevant in support of Coast Guard missions. So my name is Christy Kinnaird. I am the branch chief, Secretary of Records, and this is what the SR support chain looks like if my screen has been changing. Hopefully it has been. Of course, all SRs assist their unit leadership when requested, but know that we are here as a resource to help guide all SRs in your role as Secretary of Records. So before I go through everything, I always like to share my 3 favorite websites that I rely on as a Secretary of Records. The W-Directorate. This site houses all training materials for all SRs. Aux Directory, an incredibly useful tool for generating lists. Auxiliary PDF Forms Warehouse, the repository for every official auxiliary form. To those of you that are new or returning and haven't ventured out, we do have a Secretary of Records information section located on the W-Directorate website. When you get a chance, please acquaint or reacquaint yourself with the tools that we provide. Just type in W-Directorate in your internet search bar to find us. The Secretary of records job description for the flotilla, the division, and the district levels is available on the W-Directorate webpage. SR duties may vary slightly by unit, so review the current responsibilities to stay informed. So ideally, when you become the Secretary of Records, your predecessor should, in a perfect world, your predecessor should provide all the property and records along with guidance on the unit procedures. In each district, the district SR trains all their division SRs, who then train all their flotilla SRs within their division. Meeting minutes evaluation and more personal training falls to the division SR, and they gather all their flotilla minutes and then send them along with their division minutes up to the district SR. The district SR receives the meeting minutes from the division SRs and uploads everything to the DMS. The process of uploading meeting minutes to the document management system or the DMS looks like this. Since we are using the national system for storing meeting minutes of every flotilla, division, and district, it is important that files are properly named to keep everything stored correctly and easy to find for future reference. Each SR must take responsibility for precisely naming their meeting minute files in this format. The MM at the end of the name stands for meeting minutes. Within the DMS, the district SRs are only authorized to their individual district. So, side note, if multiple meetings are held in the same month, those special meetings are named accordingly. Just add an S or an S2 and so on. So each month, the division SR collects flotilla minutes from all of the flotillas in their division. The division SR reviews the minutes for basic protocol and then takes all the flotilla minutes along with their division minutes and sends everything collected to their district SR. The district SR collects from each division SR in their district, which include the flotilla and the division meeting minutes, along with their own district minutes. And the district SR uploads all the records for their district to the DMS. A record should exist in the DMS for each month for every unit, even for months when a meeting was not held. Speaking of months when a meeting was not held, the SR must select where it says quorum present, they select no, and on the Form 7000, and they select the reason from the drop-down menu why there was no business meeting. So in summary, every month, this should be the flow the Form 7000 takes at every level in the Coast Guard Auxiliary. Of course, the Form 7000 meeting minutes are distributed to their unit membership, but once they're approved by the unit membership, the unit SR sends those approved minutes up the SR chain to be uploaded to the DMS. So now I'm going to speak to the accomplishments that we did this quarter. We accomplished the following in our first quarter of 2026. We updated both the meeting minutes form and the roll call templates. We held informational Q&A sessions for all SRs, along with some one-on-one meetings for district SRs. So the revision to the Form 7000 and the instructions went live at the beginning of the year. To double check that you're using the most current version, look in the upper left-hand corner of the form for the version number. We are currently using 0126. Please use this form and instructions going forward. So here is an overview of the changes that were made to the Form 7000. The overall look of the form has been improved by ensuring uniformity in design of the boxes, as well as correcting spelling and punctuation throughout. Certain verbiage within the form has been revised to make instructions more straightforward and easier to follow. Thank you to our beta testers, which included most of the district level SRs. Extra special shout out to Julie Bouchard and John Cheek for agreeing to be included in the national roundtable discussions regarding the revisions made to our meeting minute form. All official auxiliary forms are located in the PDF forms warehouse. I recommend, you'll see meeting minute forms, and then you'll also see there's another PDF form, which is the instructions to the meeting minutes. I recommend printing the instructions to the meeting minutes form and always keep it handy, because as everything you need to know how to complete the form is found in those instructions. So while I'm in the PDF warehouse, I wanted to point out the writing in red. It is required that all PDF forms be downloaded to the member's computer and then opened and completed using either Adobe Reader or Adobe Acrobat. Attempting to complete a form within a browser will almost always result in the form's appearance and/or functionality to be incorrect. So using the wrong software is the #1 cause of problems for any auxiliary forms. So directions on how to download the free version of Adobe Acrobat Reader is found under the Secretary of Records tab on the W-Directorate website. All you need for the Secretary of Records job is the free version of Adobe Acrobat Reader. So we researched and reviewed our roll call templates and found that each unit prefers its own style, which was no surprise. Instead of standardizing, we evaluated and simply adjusted the templates to be a little more useful for all. Updated templates are now on our website, and units can customize them as needed. They're designed to inspire you and offer flexible options. So thank you for Alan Padua, branch assistant, for making this happen. Okay, continuing in the accomplishments. To help the district SRs get a strong start to the new year, we held a week-long series of daily workshops. I held SNR Q&A sessions for all SRs in January so everyone could be on the same page. The purpose of the Q&A session was prompted by our National Commodore, who challenged us at last year's National Training Summit to communicate to the deck plate and make our resources known. The initiative was intended to supplement rather than replace the training that's already provided to you by your district and your division SRs. The goal is to make sure all SRs can find their resources easily and know who to ask if they have questions. If you were able, or if you were not able to join the January session, don't worry. Let us know and we'll send you a recording of your district's session. I really enjoyed meeting everyone. It was great fun. Our recent focus is that we're holding individual one-on-one meetings with some of the district SRs to listen, give advice, resolve problems, and help share helpful resources whenever possible. So with that, the document management system, Dan, if you want to go ahead and unmute, I am so honored that we have our DMS guru here to say a few words. Division Chief of Technical Support, Dan Blankenship. Take it away, Dan.
Thank you. Thank you, Christy. I don't know if I'd call myself an expert, but I'm working on it. I'm getting there. So I did want to take a few minutes just to talk about trying to align on how we manage the DMS system, roles, expectations, and maybe a few practical tips. And I think, Christy, you did a good job. I liked your slides and showing the format that the files need to be saved in. That's year, district, district, division, flotilla, ILM, and then if it's a special meeting in that month, followed by an S or an S2, et cetera. That's really important. And that is, if those FSOs that are on the call, and I've been an FSO before. I'm currently an SOSR. The getting it right at the source is going to help all the way through moving through from the flotilla to the division to the district. If you do that, it makes the district job, the DSO's job, a lot easier, and the SO job, the division job, much easier as well too. So really what we're trying to do is when we're preserving records, we're looking for accuracy, consistency, searchability, and preservability. And that's really what DMS is doing. DMS is really just a custodial place where we're holding all of these records that are valuable to the Coast Guard auxiliary. So the DMS, from uploading potential problems that can occur, would be duplicate records that we sometimes will see will happen. So before you upload any files, it's really important to go out to the DMS and look at your files and sort them. You can actually go up to the name, the file name, and sort on the name, sort them in an order so that you can kind of see what's been loaded and what hasn't been loaded. And you may have your own technique for how you're loading things. I would encourage you to take the advantage of using the batch upload process. That's a much easier process if you're loading a lot of documents at any given point in time. And once you do that, you're putting in the file name. I will tell you, we've had some DSOs that have reached out to say, hey, can you rename this file? Well, if you make a mistake and you rename it as a different division, as long as you're in that same folder and you're putting it in that same folder, you can go back and and rename that file yourself. Where you have to reach out to us, and that is if you loaded it into an incorrect folder, and then you need to delete that. And there's a reason for that, and I'll get into that shortly. And I'll give you a good example. We did have one DSO a couple of weeks ago that by mistake uploaded about 53 files into a particular folder and reached out to us, and we were able to delete those pretty quickly. But there are occasions that you're going to make mistakes. Everybody's going to make mistakes. And the reason that we ask you to go to the help desk and file a help desk, DMS help desk record with us is so that we have a record of deleting that file. And we can't just arbitrarily go in and delete any file without some permission. So we have to have that logged in order for us to do that. Because remember, we're just simply custodians of the records. I think it's really important as you go through the month not to upload everything at the end of the month. If you get files that are coming in during the month, just upload them when you get them. It's a lot easier to do it then than to do it at the end of the month, because what happens is everybody waits till the end of the month, and that puts a lot of strain on the system. So you've got everybody trying to upload and do things at the same time, putting a lot of contention, a lot of pressure on the system. So it makes it a lot easier if you're doing this throughout the month, and make your job a lot easier too. A couple things that we do, my team does, myself, and I've got a branch chief now that is helping me, is we go through periodically, and we're doing this on a monthly basis. We go through and we look at individual DMS folders. We're not looking for accuracy. That's your job. But what we do look for are the naming conventions correct? Are there duplicate records out there that we notice? And if we do, we'll notify you. And that's basically that's all that we really do. The other thing that we do, just to try to keep our DMS records in line with Oxdata 2, is we also do a comparison of Oxdata 2 with what's in DMS. And we just went through that quarterly process just recently, and we have found some errors. And I will tell you that if you find a flotilla that is no longer active, let us know. We'll follow up on that. That's not our primary job, but we do follow up, and we pass that along to DIROX to make sure that they're at least looking at that, because we don't want to delete a record if it is still or delete a folder if it is still active. We can't do that, and we have to go through there's a process that we go through to do that. So let's see what else I want to talk about. I think Alan's going to cover the quarterly reports. We just issued our quarterly report a couple weeks ago. Our goal is to develop or generate the report at the end of the quarter, and usually within the first 10 days. So that's the goal that I'm setting for my team, is to get those reports out to you by the 10th day of the end of the month. So if we're ending in June, we're shooting for July 10th. is it takes us the data. We don't just push a button and it generates a report. The data comes to us in a different format. We have to put it in an Excel spreadsheet and then massage the data and then generate the report. So that's how that basically works. We're working on a couple of enhancements, things to improve DMS. Probably the biggest one that I've heard more from you all than anybody is the file name. That is, when you look at DMS, how that file name is all the way over to the right-hand side, and we're trying to move that back. And believe it or not, that takes a lot of coding to do that. So we're going through and testing that right now. That's probably one of the biggest things that we're working on from an enhancement perspective. But that's pretty much it, Christy.
Thank you so much, Dan. We appreciate you more than you know. Okay, Alan, go ahead and start unmuting. And now a word from our branch assistant, Alan Padua, to speak about the utilization report that Dan just mentioned that was generated on April 1st. Take it away, Alan.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I see you changed my first slide.
I did not.
Oh, you did.
I added a slide.
A slide.
I couldn't find one with you and a banjo.
I didn't rehearse for this plan.
Go ahead.
Okay. So for those who, good evening, everybody. For those of you who might be new to their position as SR and even new to the directorate, my name is Alan Padua. I'm the branch assistant for SR training. And tonight I'd like to spend a few minutes showing you the results of your work updating Form 7000 to the DMS Cloud repository, as Dan just spoke about. Okay, next slide. Perfect. Okay, so this is a summary, and I think some of you may have seen this in previous meetings. This is a summary of documents in DMS by district. So this slide that you're looking at right now is uploads for the calendar year 2025, last year. And let me show you the first line of the list, which happens to be my district. So we have 58 units. So that means the district, the divisions, and the flotillas. That total number of units is 58. And last year, I uploaded, I don't have an ADSO. So I uploaded 408 Form 7000s to the DMS system. So in a year, the ideal, as Christy mentioned, is 12 forms per year for each unit. So for 58 units, 12 forms, that would be 1,044. And you can see I have 408 units, and that's 59% of perfection. Okay, so let me pause this a couple of seconds so that you can look down the list and find your district and look at your and review your numbers. And you might want to jot them down because I'm going to show you another table with some more numbers. So I'll give you a few seconds. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so now, as Dan mentioned, we just ran a quarterly update. So these are the numbers for the first quarter of 2026. Now, remember, as Dan said, that this is not a perfect system in the sense that it's a snapshot of what's in the DMS system at the date when the reports run. So it's like the 10th of April, for example. So again, let's look at the first line, District 013, my district. So I still have 58 units, and there have been a couple of changes to the number of units, but it's not many. And I had 58 units, and at three for the first quarter. It should be January, February, March, three reports. So there should be 174 reports, and my number of uploads was 88. And so that represents 51%. And so you can see that's very similar to the numbers for last year. Okay, so again, I'll give you a few seconds to look up your unit and maybe write that down so you'll have a record of it. Okay, so you'll notice that no, I need the same slide.
Oh, sorry.
You'll notice that some of the percentages are in red. And what we have done is we've targeted over 90% as a sign of superior performance. And some of you may have received letters of recognition from Christy. And this is how that gets generated. You can also see that some of the units are over 100%. And you might be scratching your head, how can that be? So this is due to two main reasons. First, a unit could be playing catch up. I know in my district, I have some units that were not sending in Form 7000s continually, and for a lot of reasons. And so the new SOSRs sending up documents that they've collected from the previous year. And so all that still gets recorded as Q1 entries if it was done during Q1. But it's very good because it shows that continual improvement and documents are getting uploaded. And the second reason is, as Dan mentioned, some documents are being uploaded as with duplicates. And I know it's a little bit difficult to keep track of. And personally, I keep a spreadsheet for my units and I check off when I receive a Form 7000. And it's not unheard of that my FSOs or SOs erroneously will send me a document that they had previously sent. And that way I can check before I do any uploads. I am working with my SOs and FSOs on some organizational ideas for them to keep track of their documents, computer tricks I use and things like that, and to keep track of what you receive and what you forward. So if that's of use to anybody, I'd be glad to talk to you about that. Okay, last slide. And finally, we'd like to show a graphic presentation, and I have to thank Christy for putting this together. This is a comparison of the number of forms uploaded in Q4 of 2025. So not the numbers I showed you in the previous slide. That was for the whole year. These were just the numbers done. The numbers done in the 4Q report. And then that's the blue ones, and the gold bars are the first quarter of 2026. So you'll notice that every unit has increased their monthly updates. And once again, this is a sign of continuous improvement. So bravo Zulu to all of you for contributing to that. And as a closing comment, finally, I'd like to say that I have calculated the table I showed before that's been calculated all the way down to division and flotilla levels. And so if you'd like to see the part of the table for your district with all your units, just drop me an email and I will gladly send it out to you. So thanks for listening, everybody, and keep up the really good work.
Okay.
Okay, back
Thank
to
you so much, Alan, and great job, everyone. Okay, and now, Doug, if you can unmute, back to keep a promise from last year, please welcome Deputy Director Doug Wilworth.
All right. Again, good evening. So I started this challenge about a year ago, and the challenge was always to get past 90% and trying to figure out a good way to do that. I guess, I don't know, you wouldn't call it a club, 90% club, Christy? What do you think?
Like that. I like that. Yeah.
Okay. So currently, we had the East District, Northern Region, and the Heartland District, Coastal Region. We have a brand new recipient of the 90% Club, the Great Lakes District Eastern Region. So congratulations. There's the slide. Wonderful. So we want to, yeah, there you go. Thank you, thank you. So good job, and yeah, we recognize this on the district level, but the important thing to remember too, there's a lot of support that goes with that. So we start from the flotilla to the division to the district. So I don't want to discount that part of it, and it's really really important. You have a support factor that brings that data all the way up. And again, from what I was talking about earlier, communication is going to be your key. So talk to each other, and that's going to be the best way to meet this challenge. Try to get yourself up there. Even if you're not anywhere close to 90%, set that goal. Try to get yourself, build yourself up slowly, and you'll hit it. You'll get there. So just keep working on it.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
So thank you, Doug. Congratulations to Virginia Suda, the District SR, and the entire Great Lakes District Eastern Region. Welcome to the 90s Club. Okay. We began a new initiative, Zero the Zeros. Examining data from multiple perspectives is a valuable way for identifying areas of focus. A unit showing zero uploads may result from various factors. It could indicate that a unit is struggling and may require a detachment or archival, which the SRs can bring to the district leadership's attention for appropriate action. Alternatively, zero uploads might signify that an SR is unfamiliar with the process of uploading minutes to the DMS, or perhaps the SR is resistant to adopting these procedures. In some cases, zero uploads could serve as an indication that a flotilla is experiencing difficulties and may benefit from district leadership intervention. There are numerous possibilities to consider. Your attention would subsequently benefit the SR utilization compliance percentages that Alan spoke to earlier. So at our February National District SR meeting, we implemented the Zero the Zeros initiative, which involves closely examining the units with no meeting minutes uploaded to the DMS. We provided each district SR with tailored strategies to resolve these gaps. This chart shows how many units in each district have zero uploads in 2025 and how many units have zero uploads in Q1 of 2026. So congratulations to the districts highlighted in blue. You are this quarter's Zero the Zeros heroes. I say that 3 times fast. They were able to reduce the number of units who have never submitted meeting minutes. This initiative will continue. A reminder that this challenge will take time, especially when it involves lots of people zeroing in on the unit's situation. So to the leadership out there on this call, I mentioned earlier that one of the reasons for zero uploads, and I believe Dan kind of touched on this, uploads, is that the unit may require a detachment or to be archived. To remove flotillas or divisions that no longer exist but still appear in the system, you can follow these steps to eliminate what I like to refer to as ghost units listed in Oxdata 2. Consider taking a photo of this slide, or you can revisit the meeting's recording later, as we recommend this process for officially removing these units. As more official documents, not just meeting minutes or financial reports that happen to start uploading as of last year, are uploaded to the DMS, these unresolved ghost units will continue to show up and cause problems unless you address them. So these inactive units appear in the national utilization reports, and their consistent zero uploads will negatively affect your district's compliance percentages, since they're included in the averages with the active units. So unit leaders often ask me, what can we do? How can we help? Typically, my first suggestion is to work with any ghost units you have. If ghost units are showing up in your district, they'll keep causing issues unless you archive them correctly. Every district has ghost units, and they're at different stages of the game. And chances are they were not properly archived before you took office. So to all the leaders, like I said on this call, please review your units and make it a priority to resolve these cases. The DMS reflects Aux Data 2, and the DMS cannot be updated until the official national unit table has been changed. The second recommendation I offer unit leaders who inquire, how can we help, is to review the list of units within your district that lack an official Secretary of Records in Aux Data 2. Units not listed are missing essential SR updates that we send their way, including procedural modifications for meetings, which may diminish the effectiveness of your flotilla or division. Also, I want to mention it is advisable that the leadership refrain from preparing the meeting minutes themselves, as your attention is better directed toward other essential responsibilities. It is in the best interest of the leadership and the membership to ensure that an official SR is listed in Aux Data 2 for your unit. Each district currently has vacancies, unfortunately, for the SR staff officer position. Please note your district in this chart and encourage unit leaders to address these vacancies promptly. As often stated, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, a principle that directly applies here. So at this point, I don't know, Miguel, if there's questions that have come in, I can answer to them, or I can, I've got some questions that have come in that were most asked at our Q&A session. So let me know what you got.
Go ahead and start on that while I will give everyone else an opportunity. Folks, those of you joining from YouTube, you can go ahead and submit a question if you have one. And those of you on district staff can use the Zoom chat to list any questions while Christy goes ahead and answers some of the ones that she was sent. Go ahead, Christy.
Okay. Yeah, the questions that we get most often, is how do we attach files to the Form 7000? So directions on how to do this are found in a couple of places. One is the instructions to the Form 7000 found in the PDF warehouse and also given on the W-Directorate webpage. I'm going to... Let's see if I can do this. Let's see, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go to an actual sample that I have and show you in real time. So I've got this is the end result. I've got two documents that are attached within the Form 7000 in the attach box. I've got attendance and I've got the finance report. And so when you distribute this to your membership, all they have to do is double click on the paper clips to view the attached documents. And I'm double clicking on the finance report that was attached to the Form 7000. Now, how did they get there? Like I said, the directions are in the two different places that I mentioned, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it for you. You select add a comment and you go down to
Excuse
where.
me, Chrissy,
yeah.
we
Chrissy,
can't
you're
see,
not
we
showing
can't,
anything.
we're just seeing people.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry. Thank you.
I was using my imagination.
You know, it would be good if I knew, Zoom always is just a fun little beast. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. Okay, so now I am actually sharing my screen, trying to get rid of these floating black boxes. Okay, so now I'm here where it shows the Form 7000. And this is just a sample of that. And what I do and what I was doing before to myself and not sharing with you all is double clicking on these paper clips, and I can see the actual form that's attached. So when you send these minutes out to your membership, they can double click on these to take a look at the reports that you're attaching. Now, how did they get there? This is where we are. So we select add a comment, and we go down to where it says attach a file, and we move, and it could be a paper clip or a push pin, either one works. And you tap it in this attach box, and it opens it up to a screen to your computer, and you look to where your file is and say, I want to attach the attendance sheet. So I click on attendance, and I'm using a PC, so the kind of directions are a little bit different. Again, directions on how to attach a file are found on the W-Directorate website and on the PDF, the instructions form. It has the PC and Mac directions. So there it is. I just attached the attendance sheet. If I want to attach, now I want to attach, let's see, I know I have 2 attendance sheets. So I think, oh, I already have another one. I forgot that I did that. So you can just delete it. And then you say, oh, I need to attach the finance report. So you go over here, click on the box, you click on your finance report, select open, and there the paper clip is, and you're good to go. Again, I'm going to delete it because I already have that there. So moving up to sort of the second question that the most popular question that comes in is, if I can, do we have to attach the attendance sheet if we can fit all our names in section 3? So my answer is kind of like, it depends. If your flotilla is super small, where you can list all the members by name in section 3, then yes, you can do it there. But we're trying to develop good habits. And in general, by either listing your attendance at the end of the form, down on page 3 or 4, you can list the attendance members by name there at the end of the form, or you can attach it in the attach box like I just showed with the roll call sheet or the attendance sheet within the form on page 2. Now, with a minimum, all voting members present must be listed by name. At the flotilla level, every member of the flotilla in attendance, who's in attendance, is a voting member, not just the staff officer. So just just checking these boxes is not considered attendance. It's just showing us what staff officer is represented. And you can't say, oh, they can just look it up in Knox Data too. You can't in 2 years from now, or even next year from now. You can't tell who these staff officers were by name. And that's really important and must be included in your meeting minutes. At the division and district level, only elected officers can vote. So the specifics that speak to that, to this, are in your standing rules. For me, it's just standard practice to include each individual's name and title, if they have one, and record this in the meeting minutes. This includes if they're in person or they're virtually. So that is the 2
Great.
main questions that I get most often.
Thank
Yes,
you, Christy. And one of the ones that you answered, it was one of the questions in the chat. So we only have time for 3 questions that I noted here in the chat. One is from the Zoom chat. Who did you say to contact about the units with no appointed SR officer?
What you contact, are you, I'm not sure who's asking this, but you talk to your unit leadership.
That's correct. Thank you.
Yeah.
That came in from Jennifer Lane. And Patty
Thank you, Christy.
Patty Maxfield asked, Would it be possible to show the meeting date instead of the date entered into DMS on the master list?
That would be a DMS question.
Yeah, I'm having a little difficulty understanding exactly what she means by that. Patty, can you elaborate a little?
Yeah, I can. When you do a batch upload, you get a
Mhm.
whole list of everything that's been uploaded. And I think you get a list of everything. Anyway, what I'm trying to do, and maybe it's another way in DMS, but I would like to be able to look at a list that shows, oh, for Flotilla 18, they have these many months in 24, this many months, or actual months in 25, and actual months in 26, rather than having to go through my own files and keep a duplicate spreadsheet. Is that
That's,
possible?
I'll make a note of that. We're trying to enhance the reporting. Unfortunately, right now it's limited, but I like that idea. So you could see a
Yeah.
number of how many did you get. That's a very good point. I've already noted it. So
Okay.
thank you for that suggestion. I think that's a good
Thank
idea.
you.
Then one was, will National send the YouTube link of this meeting to the secretaries? The same link that you clicked on will be available right after this meeting is over, so you could view this meeting as many times as you like. I will be editing the video most likely this evening, which will probably cut out just a few minutes in the beginning, but you can go ahead and click on this probably starting tomorrow. So there's really nothing I need to send back out. It's the same YouTube link. It will be posted on our website in the All Hands SR section, but that won't happen until tomorrow. And we had one last question. Should we be waiting to send meeting minutes up the chain until they have been approved by the flotilla? What should we do if several meetings go by where no meeting minutes are approved due to a lack of quorum? Very good question.
Okay, yeah, that is a great question. So you cannot send the meeting minutes that the actual business meeting minutes up until they've been approved. But in the meantime, if you remember that I mentioned that we have on the meeting minute form, it shows no quorum. For the months that you didn't have a quorum, you would send in those meeting minutes, and those meeting minutes do not require approval because it's not an official business meeting. Only business meetings require approval. So you would then send the months that you didn't have a meeting, you would be sending that Form 7000 in. I hope that makes sense.
It made sense to me. I think that will answer the question for the flotilla FC. So, and I think we're ready for closing at this point.
Okay, we're moving on. Can you see my open discussion questions?
Yes.
And now we moved on to Bravo Zulu.
Yes.
So typically during our district SR meetings, this is when we have Bravo Zulu time. This is an opportunity for our districts to thank someone and tell us why. I'm going to go ahead and start. I need to unshare so I can see everybody. Okay, so as the DSO for Heartland Coastal Region, Bravo Zulu to our division SRs for achieving above 90% with your divisions, Justine, Robbie, Shauna, Brad, Trace, Bessie, David, and sometimes Mike, and you know why. And let's see, and a big shout out and it's for strong support from our district leadership, Chief of Staff Donna Day and Commodore Doug Ritchie. For the other district SRs, please share your video and unmute yourself if you have a Bravo Zulu to share at this time. And we're kind of short on time, so let's talk fast. All right, ready, go. Who would like to go first? Second, I guess.
I'm on the
Okay, Donna, go for it. Yes.
Yeah, within Southeast District, I only have the north third of the district, so I only have 6 divisions. But of my divisions, Romero and Torsia of Division 17 has done an amazing job. He's much kinder and gentler than I am, and he has convinced many people in his division to go find what they hadn't been able to provide, and it has made a dramatic difference in my area. He's just done an outstanding job. not to negate a couple of my previously efficient division officers, but he has just really done an amazing job in the last quarter.
I appreciate
Awesome.
that, Donna, especially since Ray is a member of this directorate. So I'll be, and Joe will be more than happy to pass on that acknowledgement to him. So thank you so much.
You're
Awesome.
welcome.
All right, who would like to go next? And it's okay if you don't have anything. Oh, Ray, go for it.
Okay, I've got three of our SOs that I'd like to compliment and give a Bravo Zulu to. First one is Cheryl Pahala, who has gotten the Bravo Zulu in the past. She has gotten meeting minutes wrangled out of all of the flotillas in the division. Next would be Christopher Howard, who has done basically the same thing this year, and also to Karen Munger from that would be for Division 26, who has also gotten at least one set of minutes from each of her flotillas.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you,
Thank
Ray.
you. Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, I'm going to move on.
Yeah, I've got one if I could.
Okay, yeah. Go for it, David.
This is Dave Gamble, I'm District Chief of Staff for East District Southern Region. And our DSO and EDSO, David Dietrich and April Brockman, could not make it tonight, but they've just done a wonderful job in herding cats and trying to improve our numbers. And we're getting there, and they're largely responsible for that, and we're pleased with them.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and speak as branch chief. Bravo Zulu to all SRs at the flotilla, at the division, and then at the district levels. As Secretary of Records, your efforts ensure essential decisions are documented, preserving both current and past auxiliary records. We appreciate your volunteer service and your attendance at tonight's meeting. So with that, closing remarks will be made by our Director of the W-Directorate, McGill Minervini.
Thank you again, Christy. Since we are short on time, I really just want to say thank you to all the district staff officers for the incredible work that you do on a daily basis. We do depend on you to pass on the knowledge that we have as far as training to the divisions and flotillas. You know, all the materials are on our website, so please make use of that. To all the division SOs and the FSOs, you do a wonderful job. I know I hear all the time from the districts that so-and-so is doing a phenomenal job and that you wish you could clone them for some of the other flotillas and divisions. Unfortunately, that's probably the case with a lot of other jobs here in the auxiliary, but it is what it is. So I do want to thank everyone for attending this meeting, and I do hope you got something out of it. Please watch the video as many times as you want. And again, we're here to support you. If you do have specific questions, please run them up through the chain of leadership first, and then we will be happy to attend to those questions as soon as possible. So again, thank you so much, and have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Night.
Night. Good night, all.
Night.
Thank you very much.
Christy, outstanding job. Thank you so much.
It took a village. It took a village.